The Eagle's Nest Wilderness Area in Colorado's Rocky Mountain National Forest is known for its rugged beauty. But among search and rescue teams like Patty and Dan Burnett, it is also known for its dangerous and unpredictable changes of climate.
The weather can change dramatically, especially when you get above 10,000 feet. You can be on one side of the mountain and you're heading up toward the ridge, and suddenly you get to the top of the ridge and you see the storm coming in from a distance, and in no time at all, you can be in big trouble.
In 1992, an amazing event would occur in these mountains, something even more unpredictable than the weather.
The great nesting area just over that ridge there.
Derek Patton and his young son Ryan had visited the mountains for a day of hunting. But sometime in the morning, Ryan became separated from his father. As hours passed, the temperature fell. Derek's fear grew, for his son had been dressed in only light summer clothing.
Ryan!
Around about 3 o'clock, I decided that I better go down and get someone up here to help search.
And you're sure that this is his boot?
Yeah, that's his boot for sure.
Great. We're going to go ahead and start him right now then.
Patty and Dan Burnett were alerted by the local sheriff's department and arrived in the remote area with their search dog Hasty and plenty of warm clothing. When they learned that Ryan had been dressed for summer when he disappeared, one terrifying word stuck in their minds: hypothermia.
Hypothermia is a really insidious thing. People can die in the summertime with hypothermia as well as in the winter. All that has to happen with the human body is your core temperature drop a few degrees and your body will shut down and you'll die.
Ryan!
After hours of searching, there was still no sign of Ryan.
Ryan!
And to add to the nightmare, snow began to fall.
There's no way that he's in this quadrant here. What do you think, Scott?
No, I don't think he's in here. I really hope he found a place to shelter tonight, because I don't think we're going to find him this evening.
With hope fading, the search had to be called off for the night.
Hard to just sit and wait, because all you can think about is he's out there, lost, he's cold, he could be dying.
He couldn't have gone over the ridge and made that much of a mistake. So
The next morning, Patty and Dan were joined by another veteran tracker, Greta Sloan, and her dog, Cello.
Ryan!
Cello did pick up the scent fairly quickly, I suppose maybe after 30 minutes. And I followed him down the hill, and he outstripped me, and when I got to the bottom of the hill and got within sight of him, there he was. I offered him water, I gave him some food, and at that point he was indeed in a dangerous state of hypothermia.
There was no earthly reason why this boy should be alive, but two mysterious patches of melted snow nearby caught Greta's attention. While they waited for help to arrive, Ryan shared his miraculous story of survival.
Dad!
I was pretty scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. Not having anybody else out there to answer, I could hardly talk. My throat was so sore from hollering that by night I just had to, I knew I had to just stop and take it easy for a while.
Terrified, alone, and freezing, Ryan knew he needed to find shelter.
By that time, I knew that I couldn't see where I was going, so I'd walked over to where there were some bigger trees, and there was a fir tree that the branches went almost all the way to the ground. So I climbed underneath that so that I'd have as much cover as I could.
Exhausted, Ryan fell asleep. Sometime in the middle of the night, a strange noise woke him. As his eyes adjusted to the dark, he saw that there were two large elk nearby.
Go away!
He tried throwing sticks and pine cones to chase them away, but they kept coming back. Each time they returned, they came closer and closer. Finally, they did something that goes against the very nature of wild animals. They laid down next to the boy and stayed with him throughout the night.
They lay close enough to him all night to keep him warm. And that is how he survived.
Rescuers were skeptical of Ryan's story until they saw the area where the young boy had slept. The ground was thawed where 2 large animals had bedded down.
He would have been dead if it wouldn't have been for the extra heat source of 2 big animals laying down beside him.
I believe his story is true. And one of the reasons I believe it is because I think it's totally impossible for him to have survived if it weren't.
It's okay, Ryan. I'm safe now.
Most parents would do anything to protect their child, and no one would call it a miracle. But when wild animals show the same care and concern for a human child, the word miracle seems appropriate.
The time that we have on this earth is an interesting time, and it was obviously not Ryan's time to go, because a miracle came to bear. That's why he's still around.
I mean, I've heard of angels being disguised as humans, so I don't know why angels couldn't be disguised as elk.